Welcome to Dear Daniel P.S. This is your host, Amy Lee McCorkle. I had planned to drop episode 2 today, and I recorded that, I think Friday actually. But I thought I'd address what this is kind of about. And I know on the outside looking in, my life is pretty great, and I would agree in several respects that it is. It is professionally. I could be doing better, thriving, and I had a wonderful time with mom and the family yesterday. But the fact of the matter is I couldn't really people. I had to go home because there were just too much going on. And this morning, when they said, "What do you need?" I said, "I need you to stay home." And they chose to go to church over helping me through this rough patch. I don't think they see it as such in that way. And I'm kind of out of the darkest part I was feeling this morning because you don't have good perspective when you're in an episode. Um, but I don't think people realize when they say, "Oh, well, this is important." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not feeling very strong right now. And I really, really need your support." And they don't realize what that support means or how you perceive the lack of it. And they go, "Oh, but we've done this and this and this for you." And when you're inside, for you caregivers out there, you are the unsung heroes of the mental health awareness movement and in our lives. And it, it we can, we those with the mental illness can be myopic inside the moment, and it can feel very much like us against the world because our brain is wired differently, and basically it's lying to us and saying, "Oh, nobody cares, nobody cares." And when you're inside that bleak, dark, gonna cry, I don't feel right moment, and they say, "Well, church is more important." And I'm like, "Well, I don't feel strong enough to be on my own." And I don't think that is the best way to articulate it, but, because I love my mom and dad, and they've done everything in the world for me to help make my dreams come true, to make sure I wasn't homeless, to make sure there's food in my belly. But it's very frustrating when they choose institutionalized religion over my well-being, and that's what it felt like. And of course, they would tell you, "Oh, no, we're not," but that's kinda what they did. And they would say, "We're choosing our spirituality, and we need to be fed," I just think, well, you know what I think? I think that's bullshit. But, I do believe, like for me, my faith is very important to me. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and, and I know some people who believe in them and who are mad at them, for certain things. I'm not mad at God anymore. I mean, I was mad at God for a while, but when you choose institutionalized religion over your children's emotional and psychological well-being, it can come off as really bad. And of course, my best friend, who is my primary caregiver emotionally, it's Mother's Day. So in your brain logically that these things are not so. But in your heart, and there's that part of your brain that hijacks that logical part, and you're not really able to think clearly, and you just want to be okay. You just want to not feel that pain, and that can drive you to do some pretty desperate things if it's strong enough or palpable enough. And, I've been in those situations before where I'm staring at my pills and I'm thinking, "Man, if I just took these, everything would be okay." But in retrospect, I know that's a lie because I know that the depression or the pain that I'm feeling is temporary logically, and that I've come through it before and I can come through it again. But, it's very hard to articulate to those who don't go through it how important when you're trying, when you're really putting forth your best effort to be better, to get better, to live your life to the fullest. It's hard to explain why you look okay on the outside, but maybe your inside doesn't match it. Like, I had all these great things happen and then some of them went away. And, uh, I also about 3 weeks ago lost my cat of 7 years. He had diabetes and it devastated me. And I've got his urn on my desk here. And, it's just this little box, real pretty box. And then there's Nancy, who is my rescue. And she's probably going to rescue me at the end of the day. Um, I just think people need to understand that when someone with bipolar disorder is in pain and they say, I've taken my meds, I don't know why I woke up on the hateful side, why I woke on this side of the bipolar bed today, but I really need you and I really need you to stay at the house. I don't feel strong enough. I don't feel wise enough to stay by myself. Last night, I was able to take care of myself. I was able to get a friend, but, I have a lot of friends who are mothers and, they celebrate Mother's Day with their families, with their own mothers, with their kids, with their husbands, and I don't want to infringe on that private time. Uh, but at the same time, I feel like I deserve to be not catered to, but maybe tended to, you know? "Hey, I'm in pain, talk to me, take care of me," because ultimately, I think you have to learn to take care of yourself and to manage this illness, and, but You know, I wanna commend caregivers everywhere and mothers. My mother, whenever I was first diagnosed with bipolar disorder and I moved back home from Kentucky, she took care of all the calls. She took care of, getting me signed up, like, filling out the paperwork for disability and like to get food stamps and stuff like that. She didn't sign me up, but she took me and made sure I could get the medical care I needed. And for all of you out there who look okay on the outside, but aren't okay on the inside, don't be afraid to reach out for help. And when it becomes hard, don't give up. Don't give up, don't give up, don't give up, and keep reaching out. And that's today's Dear Daniel PS. Happy Mother's Day out there.